The first thing I heard was beeping, steady, rhythmic beeping that told me I was alive, even though I couldn't open my eyes. For months, that sound was my only companion as I floated in darkness, aware but unable to move, to speak, to show anyone I was still here. My name is Rebecca Taylor, and for the past year, my sister Rachel has been living my life. I don't remember the accident that put me here. The doctors say it was a head-on collision on a rainy night. The other driver walked away without a scratch. But I remember everything that came after, every conversation around my hospital bed, every betrayal spoken in whispers because they thought I couldn't hear. The tests show minimal brain activity. Dr. Chin had explained to my family. But there's still hope. Some patients take months to show improvement. Months? Rachel's voice had been sharp, impatient. We can't wait months. There are decisions that need to be made, accounts that need managing. I tried to scream then, to tell them I was here. I could hear them. But my body remained still, betraying me with its silence. That was the day Rachel began stealing my life. It started small, accessing my bank accounts to pay medical bills, moving into my house to keep it maintained. But soon she was wearing my clothes, using my credit cards, even meeting my friends for coffee as if she'd always been me. We were identical twins after all. Who would question it? I spoke to the partners at the firm. I heard her tell our mother one afternoon. They've agreed to let me step in temporarily, handle Rebecca's clients while she's indisposed. My law practice, the one I built from nothing over 10 years, specializing in corporate fraud. The irony wasn't lost on me. But the worst betrayal came 6 months into my coma, when Mark started visiting, not to see me, but to see Rachel. It's uncanny. I heard him say one evening, "You even laugh like her." Mark, my fiancé of 2 years, the man who'd proposed on a beach in Maui, who promised to love me forever. Now he was falling for my sister, who was pretending to be me. I am her, Rachel had replied. Just better, more alive. I wanted to vomit, to scream, to wrap my hands around her throat. Instead, I lay there, listening as they made plans for my life, spending my money, living in my house, sharing my bed. What they didn't know, what Rachel never bothered to check, was what lay hidden in my basement. Behind a false wall, behind years of careful planning, behind everything I built to protect myself from exactly this kind of betrayal. Because Rachel wasn't the only twin with secrets. Lisa, my night nurse, was the first to notice I was conscious. She'd been talking to me during her shifts, little updates about the world outside, when she noticed my heart rate change at certain words. "You can hear me, can't you?" she whispered one night, checking to make sure we were alone. 1 blink for yes, 2 for no. I forced my heavy eyelids to move. Once. "Oh my God," she breathed. "How long?" Another single blink. "From the beginning?" Blink. From that moment on, Lisa became my lifeline. She started documenting everything. Rachel's visits, her conversations, the ways she was systematically taking over my identity. More importantly, she helped me communicate what I needed most. My phone and the password to access it. "Your sister's been using your regular phone," Lisa told me during one night shift. "But I found this one hidden in your personal belongings from the accident. The police missed it in their initial investigation." My backup phone. The one Rachel didn't know about. The one that could access everything I hidden away. "There's something in your basement," I managed to spell out laboriously, using a letterboard Lisa had brought. "Behind the wine rack. Need to check. Security feeds." Lisa's eyes widened as she used my fingerprint to unlock the phone and followed my instructions. The hidden camera feeds from my house loaded on the screen, showing Rachel lounging on my couch, wearing my favorite sweater, drinking my expensive wine. But the basement feed showed something else, the false wall still intact, its contents undisturbed. Rachel had always been too squeamish to go down there, too afraid of spiders and dark spaces. Her one weakness, and now it would be her undoing. Because behind that wall was everything I needed to take back my life. Documents, recordings, evidence of every illegal thing Rachel had ever done, including her greatest secret, the real reason she needed to become me. The embezzlement at her investment firm. The clients she'd defrauded. The investigators closing in just before my accident. "Oh my God," Lisa whispered, scrolling through the files I kept. "She did all this?" I blinked once, then, painstakingly, spelled out, "Call Detective Martinez. Number saved. Tell her I'm awake. As Lisa made the call, I thought about everything Rachel had taken from me, my home, my practice, my fiancé. She thought becoming me would solve all her problems, give her the clean slate she desperately needed. But my sister forgot the most important thing about me. I never trust anyone completely, not even family, especially not family. And now, as I felt sensations slowly returning to my limbs, as my doctors noted improving brain activity, I knew it was only a matter of time before Rachel learned exactly why. Detective Martinez arrived the next night during Lisa's shift. She'd aged since I'd last seen her, more gray in her hair, deeper lines around her eyes. But her sharp intelligence hadn't dulled. When I got the call about the accident, she said quietly, standing beside my bed, "I thought it was too convenient. You were about to testify about the hedge fund fraud you'd uncovered. Then suddenly, you're in a coma, and your twin sister steps into your life like she'd been rehearsing for it." I blinked once. Yes. The other driver vanished, she continued. Paid cash for a flight to Mexico the next day. We couldn't prove anything, but... Another blink. I'd suspected as much. Rachel had always been thorough about covering her tracks. The files in your basement, they're still updating. Every transaction she makes, every document she forges, it's all being recorded. You planned for this, didn't you? One more blink. Martinez leaned closer. We've been building a case, but we needed you. Your testimony. Your sister's gotten sloppy lately, confident no one will question her. Last week, she transferred $3 million from your accounts to an offshore holding company. My heart rate spiked, making the monitors beep faster. Don't worry, Martinez assured me. We're tracking every penny, but here's what you need to know. She's planning something big. Your fiancé, ex-fiancé, he's been asking questions, getting too close to the truth. We think she might run, try to disappear with your money. I forced my fingers to move, grabbing the letterboard. Slowly, painfully, I spelled out, not without the drive. Martinez's eyes narrowed. What drive? Hidden. Compartment, behind. Wine, rack, everything, there. A slow smile spread across the detective's face. You clever woman. You knew she might try something like this. I had. Rachel and I had grown up together, shared everything, including our secrets. I knew her patterns, her weaknesses, her desperate need to be me. Because in her eyes, I was the successful one. The sister who'd done everything right while she gambled away clients' money and dug herself deeper into trouble. The next few days were a blur of medical tests and physical therapy. My doctors were amazed at my progress, though they cautioned it would take time to regain full function. But I didn't need much, just enough strength to spring the trap I'd set years ago. Lisa kept me updated on Rachel's movements through the security feeds. My sister had started spending more time at my house, searching for something. She even ventured partway into the basement once, but quickly retreated when she heard a mouse. She knows something's wrong, Lisa reported. She keeps making calls, looking over her shoulder. And Mark, he's asking about inconsistencies in your past. Things she can't explain. Good, let her squirm. Detective Martinez had officers watching the house, tracking Rachel's every move. But we had to be careful, spook her too soon, and she'd run with whatever she could grab. Then came the night everything changed. I was doing my evening physical therapy when Lisa rushed in, phone in hand. She's in the basement, she whispered urgently. Really in it this time, with Mark. On the screen, I watched my sister and former fiancé descend the stairs, flashlights bobbing in the darkness. There has to be something, Rachel was saying, her voice tight with desperation. Becca wouldn't just leave everything exposed. She always had backups, contingencies. I don't understand, Mark replied. Why are we really down here? What are you looking for? Rachel's flashlight beam swept across the wine rack. Nothing. Everything. I don't know anymore. Rachel, Mark said quietly. I know it's you. The flashlight clattered to the floor. What? Her voice was barely a whisper. I've known for weeks. Little things at first, reactions to memories we never shared, preferences that didn't match. Then bigger things. The way you handle Rebecca's cases, the decisions you make. You're not her. A long silence filled the basement. How long have you been pretending? Mark demanded. Was the accident even an accident? You don't understand, Rachel pleaded. I had to do it. They were coming for me, investigators, clients I'd deceived. I needed to disappear, become someone else. And Becca, she was perfect, successful, respected, everything I should have been. So you what? Arranged to have her car hit, took over her life while she lay in a hospital bed. She was supposed to die. Rachel's voice cracked. The driver promised it wasn't supposed to be like this. She wasn't supposed to linger. I felt a cold satisfaction as Mark stepped back from her, horror evident in his voice. Oh my God, you tried to kill your own sister. I had no choice. And now I need whatever she kept hidden here. Files, records, something I can use to start over somewhere else. You can come with me, Mark. We can. We? He laughed bitterly. There is no we. There never was. I love Rebecca, the real Rebecca. And you're a monster. That's when Rachel reached into her purse and pulled out a gun. Don't move, Rachel's voice trembled as she pointed the gun at Mark. I've come too far to lose everything now. On a hospital security feed, I watched my sister back my ex-fiancé against the basement wall. Lisa had already alerted Detective Martinez, but the police were still minutes away. Where is it? Rachel demanded, her flashlight beam dancing wildly across the wine rack. She must have told you something. A safe? A hidden compartment? I don't know anything, Mark insisted. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Rachel's laugh was brittle, hysterical. Always so loyal to her. What about me? I've been her for the past year. I've lived her life, shared your bed, been everything she was and more. You've been living a lie, Mark said quietly. And now it's over. The gun shook in Rachel's hand. It's not over until I say it's over. Help me find what I need, or I swear. You'll what? Kill me too? Like you tried to kill your sister. In my hospital bed, I forced my fingers to move, grabbing Lisa's arm. Phone, I managed to whisper, my first spoken word in over a year. She understood immediately, holding up my backup phone. With trembling fingers, I entered a code, not into the phone itself, but into a hidden app I'd installed years ago. In the basement, lights suddenly flooded the space, making Rachel stumble back. A mechanical whirring filled the air as the false wall behind the wine rack began to slide open. What's happening? Rachel gasped. Welcome home, sis, my recorded voice echoed through hidden speakers. Looking for something. The wall finished opening, revealing a small room filled with servers, monitors, and a large safe. But it was the screens that drew their attention, dozens of them, showing security footage from every angle of my house, my office, even Rachel's old apartment. No, Rachel whispered. No. The monitors flickered to life one by one, each displaying a different scene. Rachel meeting with the man who would later crash into my car. Rachel accessing my accounts while I lay unconscious. Rachel and Mark together in my bed. Rachel transferring millions to offshore accounts. I knew you'd try something like this eventually, my recorded voice continued. You never could stand that I succeeded where you failed. That's why I kept records of everything, every crime, every lie, every moment of your desperate attempt to become me. Rachel spun around wildly, the gun now pointing at shadows. Shut up. Shut up. The police are already on their way, my voice said calmly. And not just any police. Detective Martinez, who's been building a case against you for years. Did you really think I didn't know about the hedge fund scam? The stolen client money? I was going to testify against you the day after my accident. Mark had pressed himself against the wall, watching in stunned silence as my sister's world crumbled around her. Everything you've done this past year, my voice continued. Every document you forged, every lie you told, it's all been recorded. You didn't just steal my identity, Rachel. You gave me everything I needed to destroy yours. A pounding upstairs made Rachel jump. Paley see. Open up. It's over, Rachel, Mark said softly. Put down the gun. For a moment, she looked like she might shoot him anyway. Then her shoulders slumped and the gun clattered to the floor just as Detective Martinez and her team burst into the basement. Back in my hospital room, I watched them lead my sister away in handcuffs, her mascara streaking down her face as she sobbed. Mark stood talking to the police, gesturing at the hidden room full of evidence. I've never seen anything like it, Martinez told me later that night. The level of detail in your records, you've been planning for this for years. I nodded weakly, knew she'd try, eventually. The offshore accounts have been frozen. We're working on recovering the money she stole. And with the evidence you gathered, plus her confession in the basement, she's looking at 20 years minimum." I closed my eyes, feeling a mix of satisfaction and sadness. Rachel had been my twin, my other half since birth. But she'd chosen this path. Chosen to try to steal my life rather than face the consequences of her own actions. The recovery process was slow but steady. Within a month, I was speaking clearly again. 2 months later, I could walk with assistance. Mark visited occasionally, full of apologies and explanations, but we both knew too much had changed. Some betrayals can't be undone. 6 months after Rachel's arrest, I finally returned home. The house had been cleaned, all traces of my sister's occupation erased. But I went straight to the basement, to the hidden room that had saved my life. The monitors still ran, recording everything. I built this system after discovering Rachel's first embezzlement scheme years ago, knowing that someday she'd try something desperate. The accident, the coma. I hadn't anticipated those specific details, but I'd been prepared for her to make some kind of move. As I stood there, surrounded by the evidence of my sister's betrayal, my phone buzzed with a text from the prison where Rachel was awaiting trial. "How long did you know that I would try to become you?" I typed back a simple response. "Since we were children. You always wanted my life, but you never understood what it took to build it." Her reply came quickly. "I'm sorry for everything." But it was too late for apologies. Rachel had made her choices, and now she would face the consequences. As for me, I had my own life to rebuild, not as the sister who had been betrayed, but as the woman who'd been smart enough to prepare for it. The next day, I reopened my law practice, my experience giving me a unique perspective on identity theft and fraud cases. My story made national news, leading to speaking engagements and consulting work with security firms. Life moved forward. I sold the house, bought a new one with better security. Mark moved to California. My sister sat in prison, writing letters I never answered. Sometimes, late at night, I think about what Rachel said in the basement, that she'd been everything I was, and more. She never understood that being me wasn't about wearing my clothes or living in my house. It was about the years of work, the careful planning, the attention to detail that she'd always dismissed as paranoia. In the end, Rachel had tried to steal my identity, but she'd failed to capture the one thing that mattered most. The knowledge that sometimes the best defense isn't a wall or a security system, but simply being prepared for the worst in people, even when those people are family, especially then.